I see you serving. I see you working. The things you do on purpose makes me think of you as perfect. You might be nervous or think you're not deserving, but your courage is what makes you unique and worth it. Peace and praise. Blessed ones. The fall off is out today, February 6th, 2026. I had listened to it a couple times, and I'm going to be honest. I like it. I don't think this is his best album. I mean, it was a pretty long album, but it was a great album. It was two parts to it, and I think the B-side was more of him getting in his melodic singing type flow. If I can be real, it's kind of like Good Kid, Mad City Take Care type of album. Because I understand that J. Cole is not a singer. But you have the Drakes, you have the Kendricks, they be getting in there melodic because Drake, I mean, he's no Luther Vandross. He's not even Trey Songz, but I mean he can sing a little bit. But you know, I waited up for the album to drop, and then I went to Apple Music, and at first it wasn't playing. I was like, dang, I can't play it. So of course I had to go on Spotify. I hate listening to music on Spotify, but because I do have premium, I can maneuver a little bit better with music on that now. But I listen to all my music on Apple Music, but I couldn't play it at first. So I listened to it on Spotify. I fell asleep. Woke up, and Only You was playing. Great song. One of my favorite songs on the album, on the 24 track album. There's a lot of great tracks on there. I really like that track, What If. It's him rapping in the perspective of everything that transpired after Tupac and Biggie's, hit 'em up, and who shot you and all that. But I still feel like maybe he was referencing the Notorious biopic. But yeah, that was great. Safety may be my favorite track on the album. Safety maybe is my only track. I listened to it a couple times. I listened to the album a couple times. Like I said, it's almost 2 hours long. It's like an hour and 40 minutes long. That is a long album, because even when we talk about track lists for albums, of course Chris Brown has, I think his last 3 albums had 25, 30 songs, 40 songs on it, and the album's still great. And I think R&B can do that. I know a lot of people hate like extra long albums, but you can do that with certain albums. But starting off this episode, I wanted to give a shout out to all the women, working women, the mothers, caretakers, caregivers. I said caretakers. Dang, it's not a thing, but caregivers because it is Black History Month, and I'm gonna be honest, because of these women, the wives, the mothers, the single Black women, is partially the reason why we even have a Black History Month. But most importantly, it is partially the reason why we were able to vote. Like, a lot of people don't know that woman plays a pivotal part of American history. You know, while men are out there at war, are out here working, the women were, making moves at home, taking care of the kids. Also, going out there, standing, marching in line, waiting in line, trying to speak to the powers that be, praying. We always talk about a praying grandmother. Those are the mothers of the 60s, of the 1800s, when we were still in slavery. But that's really what this is about. Because I don't think I've really gave Black history the attention that I usually do over the years. Because, again, I said this before, that if we're going to have a month, it needs to be all year. Because Black History Month should be every month. Because even though I have my reservations about slavery already, my melanated brothers and sisters, ancestors, they built this country. Whether they was forced to or not, they still built this country. You can't put someone to work and not compensate them. You can't put them, you can't send people out to war and not compensate them. You can't take them from their homes, take them from their families, and not compensate them. I wasn't born when slavery was around. I wasn't born during the civil rights movement. I wasn't born when when our ancestors was brought to this country. But I will say this: in my lifetime, I have seen the products of slavery. I have seen the attack on my melanated brothers and sisters. I have seen the discrimination. I have seen the racism. I have seen so much unjust, unfair on how we were treated. And whether I have experienced that or not, I am an advocate for treating everybody right. And me, as a Black American male who pays taxes, who works hard, who is a father, who's also someone who has a responsibility beyond myself, I like to be recognized and compensated, because nothing in this world is free. Now, I don't like paying for things. Maybe that's just a cheap person in me, but I don't believe in paying for resources that we need, like water, electric, gas. I don't believe in, the utilities that we use, something that's already of the land, something that's already here. I don't believe in paying for that. But of course, there's, it's business, but like I said, I pay my taxes. And I don't agree with that, but I pay them. But we are getting back to the golden era where even though we're still in the AI digital era, when it comes to certain things like music, the internet, and even groceries, we're getting back into the to how things used to be. You have albums where you'll get it right from the source. The streaming platforms aren't paying the artists anything. We're getting a percentage of pennies. Me as a creative who does podcasts and music, I'll be honest, it would be nice to receive something for listening and everything, but I really enjoy doing music, creating music, writing music. But I really just want people to listen. That's my payments. And I'll stand on it. Like, you don't got to give me anything, but I just want you to listen because I feel like I bring a different thing to the table. I build tables. I set tables. I reconstruct tables. I break tables. I do a lot of things with tables. And, for me, being in the table business, I done seen a lot more hurt at the table than healing. Soul Food. Ghost Book 2. And even Who Made the Potato Salad. 3 pivotal or epic scenes in the movies. Or actually, even matter of fact, 4 because I forgot why did I get married. So I'm discussing these movies because these are reflections of real life experiences in our community. Black people, melanated folks. And I want to reflect back on the beginning. I see you working. I see you serving. I know you might be nervous and think you're undeserving, but your courage is what makes you unique and worth it because long suffering is part of the spirit, fruit of the spirit, and sometimes we do have to suffer. And I said this on the last 2 episodes about really finding God and knowing who God is. It all circles back to God. Everything that we deal with as a society, as a community, as a family, as an individual circles back to God. I don't have to keep repeating Isaiah 45:7, but our suffering is where the Lord shines. I didn't ask to be here. Neither did you. So the least we can do is listen to God's voice. Listen to your moral compass. Listen to the voice in your head telling you to never give up. To always put your best foot forward. To always be the bigger person. Not saying to not fight, not saying to not defend yourself, not saying to not protest, to march, to stand up for what's right, but to be the bigger person as far as like, hey, you are bigger than your problems. But most importantly, your Father is, your God is, because think about the things that you cannot control. How can you change something that you can't control? And then think about the things that you can control. You can make a difference there. How we react to things. Everything is a reaction to something. You know, if you're listening, and I do want to say thank you all for listening, coming on here, spending this moment with me. If you are listening, however this makes you feel, if you feel anything, it's still a reaction. Sometimes you might want to listen because it's intriguing. Sometimes you might want to listen to get some information. Sometimes you want to listen just to hate. And I never encourage people hating on each other. But there's certain things that has come to my recollection and revealed to me. Is like, my God has set the table to give us something. My Father had set the table to present something to us. My Father had set the table for us to communicate, for us to congregate, and for us to come to a consensus of agreement, acceptance, or affirmation. So, whether we're dealing with real life instances, things that we watch in movie theater, movies that we listen to, anything that we consume, it all comes back to God. I say this all the time. Our imagination, our minds are so creative, are so big, are so broad. But where does that come from? It is a divine gift to think beyond our own understanding. So when you listen to this, and I'll be done. When you listen to this and you're like, what is he talking about? When you listen to this and you're nodding your head like, oh, I get it. When you're listening to this and you're, really just, receiving. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to listen. However this makes you feel, you had to think about it. If I lost you, go listen to some of my previous episodes. Start back from the beginning. Go on SoundCloud. Go on Apple Podcasts. Go on YouTube. Go to my very first episode 1. And if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, it wasn't in order. So from I fell in love with my best friend to rap, teach, repeat. That's the first leg of my podcast being off of Spotify. But if you go to episode 1, entitled 1, and you go to the other 9 after that, you will understand. Or even if you want to listen to Too Idle for a Title podcast. But again, go listen to my previous episodes. Any of them. You can go to any of them. You can go to the last one. You can go to the one before that. You can go to 5 episodes behind that one or 20 episodes behind that one. Because it's always going to come back to God. Everything comes back to God. Because I've been doing this for so long, I lose count. So not only is this episode 171, this is episode 1000. I've done thousands of these episodes. Some might not have been on the podcast. Some may not have been on YouTube of me just vlogging and expressing things, but it's always been the same message. God is in us. It's about God. It's about God. So, for those of you listening, thank you. For those who have made it this far, thank you. For those who have subscribed, who commented, who done anything that's dealing with just listening to me talk about whatever it is I'm talking about. New and old listeners, new, old subscribers, thank you very much for taking a minute, taking 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours to spend with me. Make sure that y'all go listen to The Fall Off by J. Cole, available now. Make sure y'all go listen to my new song, Role Model, on all streaming platforms. Make sure y'all go and follow me on all platforms. Bless One Up, BLSD 1UP. Make sure you share. Make sure you give feedback. I want you to be more engaging. When we're be more engaging. Tell me what you think. Tell me how you feel. Did you like this episode? Did you have any questions? Do you have any suggestions? Do you want to request me to talk about something? Because that's what this is about. This isn't just for me. This is also for you. I want you all to be more engaging. Don't just listen. Give your thoughts and feedback. I'll be happy to hear them and read them. For those of you who know me personally, knows how to get in contact with me. For those of you who don't, again, I'm on TikTok. I'm on Threads. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. You can even hit me up on LinkedIn. But yeah, I would like to hear back from you all. But thank you all for having this time, sharing this time with me. I truly do love y'all. I do. I really do appreciate it. You just don't know how much. But like I always say, y'all be safe. Stay prosperous, productive, and positive. This is Blair. One.